Hello, I'm Derek Bontrager with Stutzman's in Hills, Iowa. Today I am standing in front of Artex's S200 manure spreader. These S200s have been around for several years now. We've had very good luck with these spreaders. These spreaders are designed for the smaller cattle producer, maybe somebody that's doing some litter spreading, or you could do lime spreading. We can do a lot of the same things with these spreaders that we can with the larger Artex spreaders. These spreaders have a number of things in common with the bigger spreaders, like the guillotine gate, the mesh screen up front. We're still using a hydraulically driven floor chain. 1,000 PTO is standard on all of these. The 25,000 pound axles are standard on these spreaders as well. In this case, the 200 only has a single axle. The 200 has a little bit larger brother known as the 350, which has tandem axles and is 4 feet longer. Otherwise, they're virtually the same spreader. So you might ask, what are the differences between the S200 and the larger SB spreaders, or even the SBX spreaders? The width is where it starts, and the chains and how the chains are driven. These S-series spreaders have a single floor chain that is 5 foot wide, where the SBs and the SBXs are either a 5.5 foot wide box or a 6.5 foot wide box. And then even the beaters, which we'll show here a little bit later on, the beaters for an S-series are also narrower to accommodate the box. Really, the whole box is just narrower. That's the biggest difference. The other big difference is the SB and the SBX, because they're a dual floor chain, those have dual floor motors running the chains, where this S-series only has a single floor motor to run the chains. So standing behind the S200 here, you can see that this one is a vertical beater model, obviously. These are available with our Cyclone model as well, just like the bigger spreaders are. That Cyclone spreader or spinners are designed more for if you're spreading lime or litter or any kind of a very light, bulky material. Those tend to throw the material a little bit farther than what these vertical beaters will. The vertical beaters still work great for all materials, but especially like pen pack cattle manure, which is mostly where we sell these for. The big differences on the vertical beaters on these S200s and the S350s versus the larger SB and SBX models is the beaters are actually just a little bit thinner steel. On the larger models, we use 5/8 thick beaters. On these, it's just 3/8 for both the paddles, the beaters, all the hardware back here, because we don't need to have it quite as heavy for these smaller spreaders. These will still do an excellent job of what we're trying to do, and generally they don't need to be built. We don't need to be overbuilt. We're already overbuilt for where we're at. Standing in front of the S200 series spreader here, just want to point out one unique feature that's not generally seen on the larger SB and SBX spreaders, and that is this hydraulic control valve. This valve, because the tractors that we're using for this spreader are generally maybe 100 PTO horsepower up to 150 PTO horsepower, we run into tractors that are open center hydraulics. When we have open center hydraulics, we need to be concerned about how the oil is run to the floor, how it's run continuously. The hydraulic control valve is designed that it can be used to alter the speed of the floor on the spreader, irregardless of whether the spreader is connected to a tractor with open center hydraulics or with closed center hydraulics. With closed center hydraulics, we would typically open this valve all the way open and then control the floor speed with the tractor hydraulics. With open center hydraulics, those tractors can only run their hydraulics at one speed, so then we can use the valve or the controller on here to speed up or slow down the floor, so you can get it where it's a happy medium for driving across the field. There's all the way open. That was where we would use for closed center. There's all the way closed, which that cuts the floor off altogether. And then generally we're going to probably set it in the middle for most tractors that are open center hydraulics. Like I said, closed center hydraulics, we're going to open that all the way up. We've also found this control valve can be replaced with an electronic control valve that looks very similar, but it gives us the ability to have a dial in the cab of the tractor, or on if it's an open station tractor, on the tractor, that lets you speed up or slow down the floor and turn the floor on and off from right on the tractor. So if you are looking for a new manure spreader, stop in and see us. We have a good supply of spreaders on hand currently, ranging all the way from this S200 to the larger S350, all the way up to the SBX 800. I encourage you to, like I said, stop in, take a look, give us a call. We're happy to help you out and find the right spreader that'll work for your operation.